Okay, I did say there was configuration available, and to get into it, we're going to right click and go into settings. So the first tab we're going to look at is the general one. And remember from the quick setup screen that you can show the button on every screen on the main screen or in the menu bar. Well, here within the app, you'll see we've got a new option called Nowhere. And there's a friendly reminder telling us that without our button, DeskMat effectively doesn't have any UI on the screen. And to open the settings, you're going to need to right-click DeskMat's desktop cover or double-click on the app again in Finder. I'm going to click OK. I'm just going to point out here that you can enable and disable DeskMat with a keyboard shortcut, which is quite useful if you don't have the button. Then you can also tie it to a tool like BetterTouchTool or something, and then automatically activate it with your trackpad or your mouse. You'll see as I key in here, I'm turning DeskMat off and then on. I'm going to put the button back though to every screen. And again, just here you can change the position of that button. You can also determine what is covered. Is it just going to be that desktop where the button resides, or is it going to be all desktops? Then down here, you can elect to launch DeskMat at login. Okay, into the cover section, and this is where you can start getting quite granular. There are two options at the top. You can cover the entire desktop, or you can hide individual files and folders rather than everything. You'll see that when we select this, DeskMat is turned off so that we can get ready to configure. We're going to need this drop down here because this has two options. We can elect to hide all files and folders except whatever we list below. Alternatively, we can show all files and folders and then just have maybe one or two that we want to hide. Then if we come down here to the plus button, we got two options. We can add a file type or an individual file. So under file type, you can see we've got loads of choice here. So say, for example, I want to hide all files and folders except images for whatever reason. If I come up and click on my DeskMat button, all of my image files are shown, but everything else is hidden. If I come back down again and click plus, you'll see that underneath add file, this is going to list everything that's currently in our desktop folder. And then we can manually hide items as we like. Then to remove a file type or a file, simply select it and then click on the minus button. If you find you want to revoke desktop access for DeskMat, then you can click this button here to do that. And if you want to automatically show or hide any newly added items on the desktop whilst the cover's active, then you can check this box here. Okay, for this next part, I've made a little bit of a change. So we've got cover entire desktop selected here. As we can see, we can determine what we're going to cover the desktop with. Now down here on desktop wallpapers, we've got a drop down. We can either cover with a static wallpaper, or if we're currently shuffling our wallpapers, we can have that reflected in the cover as well by choosing live. Let me show you. Over here in my wallpaper settings, as you can see, it's currently set to shuffle every 30 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to every 5 seconds, and it's going to rotate between these wallpapers down here. So you should absolutely see when they change. But what we'll find is even though DeskMat is currently on and covering up all of my icons, while I've been talking, the cover hasn't changed. The wallpaper would have changed below, but the cover hasn't. If I come and turn DeskMat off, we can see the wallpaper had changed underneath. And in fact, as I was talking there, it changed again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn DeskMat back on. Then I'm going to come down and switch this to live. And there was a little flicker there as the new setting took effect. But what you'll see is our desktop cover here has changed to reflect the wallpaper sitting underneath. If I change to static, it's just going to stay at this particular color here. So that is how the static and live covers work.